everyone. This is Nitin from Burnyourfuel.com, and I'm with the BMW X1 20D sports line today. A beautiful driving machine. I'd like to explain a few things about the car which I like and which are quite noticeable actually. Is because it's a crossover and the mix between a sedan and an SUV. What is interesting, the first impression is the way you're able to adjust the height of the seat, and some people find it difficult to get ground clearance, so here I am right on top, feel like the king of the road, and then when I actually move down, it gives me a feeling of driving a very, very comfortable car with a very good level towards the road, so you can adjust it for your height and your build, apart from obviously the length of your comfort. The other thing I wanted to point out is this is the version in between the X, which is the high version, and the D20, which is the lower version, and the primary difference being obviously the way this aluminum finish on the car. Let me also point out that there are a couple of things which we are not driving with today. We do not have the cruise control in place in this car, which is a bit of a shame, but I think we still enjoyed the drive. The cruise would have been excellent on a Chennai-Pondicherry route, and I think the next time we are heading this way, we would ensure we have a cruise control. The other thing is, if you look at this board here, the panel gives you a navigation screen, the new BMW iDrive, which gives you good navigation with built-in maps, and of course a lot of controls for your music and your connectivity to your phones or your iPods and your iPhones. The other things are this on and off button for the automatic switch off and on of the engine at stops. So considering India's driving conditions, this is quite a smart feature where once you stop at a location, say whether it is a signal, a red light or not, the car would stop. Now this control is quite handy because at times you do not want this feature, so you switch it off. So when it lights up here, it means that you do not want that mode. This one is the traction, which typically you would want on for enjoying all the BMW comforts. And then there is a Eco Pro mode, which basically helps you save on fuel consumption, and also automatically activates the climate control as soon as you switch that mode on. I must point out that I quite enjoyed driving this mode purely because the drive was, the stretch was very, very enjoyable. Very good roads here from Chennai to Pondicherry, and we really like the drive. Additional to that is the USB, very handy, and the aux cable, along with the cigarette lighter, which you can actually use to charge another phone. So having the aux and the cigarette lighter together comes very, very handy. So the X1 has a 8-speed automatic and a manual gear stick. So currently it's on the park position, which happens when you click on P, and then you could move to D, which is the drive on an automatic mode, move to neutral, and move to reverse. Now the most exciting part about this is if you wish to be on your own and be on your sports mode, which is the manual mode, you move from your drive to manual, and it gives you 8 gears to choose from, the acceleration you want to choose, and promises a very, very interesting drive. Back to parking here. The other good feature about this is the roof. Now it has a double roof which can be operated with this, so I'm opening the roof for you here. So it opens up all the way to the middle of the car, after which you could open half of the glass. What brings up an interesting point here is it brings up this mesh, very thoughtful, and when you're driving long distances, a lot of dust and leaf kind of particles are avoided getting into the car. Very thoughtful, and this is how you would close the moonroof. The good thing is it lets you adjust the amount of light you want for it to come in. So if at some stage you feel it's too bright, you could stop it halfway. Very impressive. Now, a couple of things which this car doesn't come with and which I don't like is the air conditioning actually tends to get too noisy. Now, I think it is too noisy and not acceptable. Somehow it doesn't impress me. This car does not come with the pedals on here to control manual gears. It has to be done from the gear stick. It also does not come with the standard feature here, which would be to adjust the headlights, the positioning of the headlights, which I think is a given. It should have been here, but BMW has not yet accommodated this in the X1 sports line. So another thing I wanted to point out in this very good car is this support here, which I can adjust just by a pull of this lever. What it does is it gives you extra support around the thigh area, which is very good for drives like the one we made just now. And also, what comes handy is I use it as a space for my mobile phone. So just like this between my thighs, and it gives me easy access while I'm driving. I do not have to move away from the steering. I'm just here and I can get my phone back on my hand. Okay, a bit of the car, while you're a passenger on the back seat is, it doesn't give you extremely large leg space. Currently we've moved the seats forward to accommodate the view better, but for someone like me, I'm not comfortable with not spreading my legs on long distances while the driver enjoys his drive. But a couple of things to note is a 12-volt charger here, which comes 12-volt point that comes quite handy out here for backseat passengers. And if you look at the center rest that comes out, with two cup holders, that is something that is quite handy. And apart from that, there are these lights that are quite thoughtful, though I'm not sure with someone like me how much he would be able to enjoy the long drives, as I just said. Apart from that, the feel of the seats is not what I would expect from a BMW specifically, and it leaves literally no space for anybody in the center to enjoy the space, except maybe 2 or 3 year old child, and there's hardly any space behind to enjoy
having the X1 for 3 days, which included a very memorable and a very exciting drive to the French colony Pondicherry from Chennai. I think, to say the least, it has been an extremely satisfying drive. What this car does to you is impress you upon a couple of factors. One is there is very little thought that there's very little feeling that you get about this being a diesel machine. It doesn't feel very heavy on the steering wheel. Extremely reliable feeling and extremely sturdy feeling. The roads, of course, the Chennai Pondicherry drive is always a memorable one, but with this specific machine and with all the adjustments on the driver's seat, mind you, this is a sports edition, and the front passenger and the co-passenger seats are sport seats specially equipped for this edition of the X1. It has extremely good support to your back. There are adjustments that will help you support your back well. This extra support for your thigh does a world of good for long distances. The transmission, which is a shift up from the earlier versions where there was a 6-drive transmission, now converted to 8-drive, gives absolutely immense flexibility as to how much power you want to shift to your transmission. The automatic as well as the manual do not disappoint. Almost everything about the car seems perfect when you're driving it, though I must say, as a passenger on the back seat, there are chances that you would think this is not the car for you, which I agree to, purely because maybe the space available is not enough. The seats are a bit too tight, in my opinion, too upright for comfort. Having said that, from a driver's perspective, I think there is nothing to complain about. No jet lag, no lag whatsoever when you're driving the car. Gives you the power when you want it. Not once in the many times I have tried to intentionally overtake many vehicles on the Chennai-Pondicherry highway have I felt that I'm lacking the power that I need. Now in the crossovers and specifically at the entry-level crossovers, I think this is a car to reckon with, and I think I would conclude by saying that of course BMW lives up to its image, but I think this is a machine that is worth investing your excitement into. That is what I would say. Nitin Chaudia reporting here from Burnyourfuel with Kiran Sa, our chief photographer. Thank you for watching this video.